I'm Sangeeta Dwivedi, Assistant Professor of Modern Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Indore. Today I'm going to talk about anti-amoebic drugs. Amoebiasis is an acute or chronic infection with end amoeba histolytica produced by ingestion of cyst of this organism. And the parasite exists in two forms. First is trophozoites or active form, which does not persist outside the body. And the second is cyst or inactive form, and it is able to survive outside the body, and it is a labile form of this parasite. This picture indicates the life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica, which is a causative agent of amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery. So first, the cyst ingested with food or water which is contaminated with human fecal material having this cyst. If the contamination is occur, then these cysts occupy the small intestine, and then they form trophozoites, and those trophozoites colonize the large intestine. So here in the large intestine, trophozoites reproduce by simple division, and they may invade the lining of large intestine, resulting in the various symptoms of amoebiasis like colitis, diarrhea, and dysentery. What is extraintestinal amoebiasis? When trophozoites may invade the blood vessels of large intestine and transport it to other organs also, then this is known as extraintestinal amoebiasis. Like they can move into our brain, liver, lungs also. So this is a life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica. And from here, if these cysts passed in the feces, and again this feces contaminated foods or fruits or water, and those contaminated food or water taken by some healthy person, then again he or she will become infected. The outcome of infection is very asymptomatic but extreme the infectious cyst form, making them a source for further infections. Amoebic dysentery, where trophozoites invade into the colonic mucosa with resulting colitis and bloody diarrhea. Amoebic liver abscesses, when trophozoites invade through the colonic mucosa, reach the portal circulation, and travel to the liver and cause liver abscesses. So this is the classification of anti-amoebic drug. We can classify anti-amoebic drugs into three classes. First is systemic, second is luminal, and third is mixed type. So systemic anti-amoebic drugs means these drugs are effective against trophozoites form of this parasite, and luminal drugs are effective against only cyst form of this parasite, whereas mixed type of drugs are effective against the trophozoites as well as the labile form, that is cyst of parasite. Here some examples are given here, like systemic tinidazole, metronidazole, and luminal में diloxanide furoate, etc. So metronidazole and tinidazole drugs are basically the choice for the treatment of amoebic colitis, amoebic liver abscesses, and other extraintestinal form of amoebiasis, but they are less effective against the cyst form. Patients with amoebiasis also should receive a luminal agent to eradicate completely any and amoeba histolytica trophozoites residing within the gut lumen. So, dehydroimagine, chloroquine, these are reserved for very unusual cases where metronidazole are contraindicated. And nitazoxanide is an oral synthetic broad-spectrum antiparasitic agent which is effective against a number of intestinal helminths and protozoans. Tetracycline and erythromycin are the alternative drugs for moderate colitis, but they are not effective against extraintestinal disease. Here comes on metronidazole. Metronidazole is a nitroimidazole antiprotozoal drug which is capable to kill the amoeba trophozoites. It is the drug of choice for pseudomembranous colitis, and for brain abscesses also, which is generally caused by Chlamydia difficile. It's pharmacokinetic. It is well absorbed after oral and rectal administration and sufficiently distributed in liver, GIT, pelvic tissues, CNS, lungs, and bone tissues. It is metabolized by oxidation and glucuronide conjugation. It is eliminated basically by kidney, and the T half of the drug is 8R. The mechanism of action of metronidazole is a metronidazole diffuse into anaerobic bacteria or sensitive protozoal cells. Then, in electron transport chain of those protozoal cells, the nitro group of metronidazole is reduced by peridoxin, and the reduced product appear to be responsible for the killing of the organism. Probably it will happen because this reacting with the cellular macromolecules like DNA, protein, and their membrane. So ultimately, they cause the inactivation of DNA of those parasites. So which ultimately result in the death of those protozoa and susceptible bacteria. So this is the mechanism of metronidazole.